Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining me today as we take a look at a little bit of the technicals that we're seeing with IT or IQ on here. It's been a couple of weeks since I put out a video regarding IQ. Actually, it was one of the first videos I did post. Was a breakdown of IQ, actually, if you recall, back here on 8/14, where, of course, I called for the continued drop down into the 25 range in that. I do want to kind of preference, I guess, before further that I am long-term bullish on IQ. I do really like the company in that, and I do see a lot of growth in the future. However, this call will take none of that into consideration. So if you are watching this video and you want to comment or argue that the company is of course, hemorrhaging money and thus the price should be way lower, or if you want to argue that the subscriber growth base is growing, rapidly fast, and that the growth is there long term. Again, not the call, not the video to really watch. It's just to kind of take a look at some of the price action, some of the technicals, and what we're seeing. Try to take a look at not only what we're seeing now, but what to expect and where to really watch the action of the stock for those of you that are either looking for buying opportunities or for even those of you that are more short-term traders that want to find places to take profit or add more shares. So, like I said, I'm long-term bullish. I do own 2020 calls for IQ, expecting a good growth story there. But actually, here at the beginning of August, during this consolidation, here around $30, I did buy some short-term $25 puts. And so when I made the video last time, just after we finally broke out of consolidation, I made the call that we were going to push down to 25. And now, not only did I expect to push down to 25 toward the bottom of my trend channel, but I expected a little bit of pop back up and or consolidation. At the time, I called for the move up to actually come back to the trend line here in the $28 range, upper 28s. So of course, we immediately got the move to 25 the next day, right on schedule. And so then everyone, of course, watching for the move back to 28 didn't quite get off to the greatest start the following day. But then, of course, over the next 2 days, really made to finish up that move that I was looking for and pulled back all the way up to the upper trend line. So made a good profit there buying those $25 puts. I actually sold half that very next day after the video when it hit the bottom trend line. And then when it actually retapped 25 2 days later but failed to break it, I sold the rest of those puts, seeing that it was not going to go lower at that time. So, of course, we then watched the stock move back to the upper trend line as anticipated. So during kind of some recaps that I put out after the IQ video when I talked about some of those trades, I mentioned that we'd be looking for it to move back to the upper channel before a further move down. So, of course, when you look at something like that of it reacting and the price action, when it reacts to, say, the upper part of your downtrend channel, that's really where you're looking for, what's next. Is it going to, bounce hard off that channel or what's going to happen? So in this case, it actually, for me, it broke the channel and kind of bumped this little bit of resistance line that we're consolidating before, and then came back to the channel. So right there, the open the next day was going to tell me really everything I needed to know about where this stock was heading at that moment, right? And so, of course, the next day we gapped up. So opened up the next day over, around $29, which told me at that point that we were out of the downtrend. Of course, we were still under the VWAP, and so I know a lot of people seeing it under the VWAP would really wonder, could it just be a false breakout? Could we just get a little pop up here out of trend and then pull back? Of course, but in that case, we actually didn't. We actually, consolidated a little bit, not only under VWAP but above this 28.65. So right then, I actually bought some short-term calls as I saw that consolidation. I actually bought them here on the 23rd during the consolidation for the pop and break. So today we actually had a little bit of a rough day in that, down a couple of percent after the huge move up yesterday. So yesterday really shot up, broke VWAP, all kinds of volume in that as well. a whole bunch of confirmation of breaking the downtrend. But then now we have the rejection at 32.50 scaring a lot of people into what's next. So my look on this, of course, is that, when we look at this red candle today, we are seeing a higher high and as well a higher low. Still above, and it actually closed up here at 30.50, closing above the $30 line as well, which would have been the top of these little consolidation candles, right? So it came back down to the top of the previous consolidation, but held it in that with that higher low. So while the candle, big red candles always like to scare people, in that it's still, to me, not showing that any bit has changed from my mindset of when it broke VWAP on volume. We even actually saw that happen on less volume today in that. So nothing has really changed in my mind here. I still think we've broken downtrend, and I am looking for it to continue to move higher. However, like I said, big red candles are scary, and of course, any bit of catalyst can really change that move from day to day. So, of course, watching it tomorrow, if it were to go down and retest VWAP, to watch how that happens, right? If we get another, really big break, so if we go back here and look at July 18th, now we were just testing the top of the downtrend channel, so a little different here, but we were above VWAP, and then of course we saw increased volume the next day as it just right through VWAP, retested it, couldn't break it, consolidated along it before it got back to the upper channel and then continued its downfall. So definitely a second big red candle tomorrow breaking VWAP. Definitely if it's breaking that 28.65 support would tell me that, this is really kind of a false break. However, I don't see that now. What I do see now is a break of VWAP on volume, followed by a higher high and a higher low, up into, of course, a little bit of resistance here at 32.50. So right, we may see some candles, maybe a little consolidation under 32.50 before breaking that. Really, I'm going to watch, of course, this break of 32 and how the price action goes against that. We could have a little curl with a double tap of 32 and a drop, right? A little double top. So definitely going to watch the price action at 32, and then, of course, watching the price action if it does retest VWAP, and to see where we go from there short term. But, of course, my long-term outlook on this is that we will break 32.50 and come back up to this long-term support, and then we'll watch that, if we, work under it or can break it. So, yeah, that's really what I'm looking at for IQ. So just giving you guys a little bit of my technical breakdown and what I'm looking at here in the short term, and a couple definite price points to watch and what you're looking at. So definitely if you're holding it and today's big red candle scared you, where you can find a little bit of faith in it is of course, the higher highs, higher lows, and still holding above VWAP from yesterday, especially because it's doing, today's pullback on lower volume, right? So there wasn't even more sellers coming in, to send it back below VWAP or even to retest it. So a little bit of, I guess, silver lining to today's cloud. So of course, some points to watch in that. But if you guys have any other stocks you guys are taking a look at, you want me to break down and take a look at myself, or of course, if you guys are seeing something different in the charts, please comment below. Always like a little dialogue. No one's ever 100% accurate on anything, but of course, it's a good thing to open the dialogue on the technicals and what prices that you are seeing, the different moves on, pivots, support, resistances, so that way you got more people watching the same lines, and then of course can hopefully tip things a little bit in our favor against those market manipulators, right? All right, thanks everyone. Great day.